Alright, we're going to be looking at Freshy, who's playing Moira. This is Gold 5 on New Queen Street. I don't know if this is PC or console, but I guess we'll find out. I want to review someone to review one of my gameplay as playing comp. I've been having a mindset that I could do better, and not every loss are related to my teammates, and I seldom blame them unless they are really bad. I know there would be area of improvement for everyone, so I'd like to know how I could do better. And the title of this post is currently suffering from a 10+ loss streak, but quite sure I will get more. So I saw that there was a good chunk of engagement here. You got a really long write-up from Susaphonics, but you didn't get a video replay, so that might also be helpful. And since this is a pretty high up voted post, I assume there'll be a lot of visibility on it, and there's a lot of Moira players these days, so maybe I could be of assistance. Apologize for the coughing, since I am currently sick. Alright, so for starters, I think you're already doing it wrong. As Moira, like, there are flanking Moira playstyles that are viable. I think especially for low ranks, like your bottom of gold, high silver, I don't think it's viable to do this. I think this is a really bad idea. I think you're going to waste a lot of time doing absolutely nothing. Just follow your team, especially following your tank in particular is really, really important. And then if you see an opportunity to pounce on someone, do that. But don't start out the game just going on wild, crazy flanks. And I think that's probably a big part of your issue right now. So look at what's kind of happened at this moment in time. Right? Your team goes in. You're going to see Sojourn go up top, which is perfectly reasonable, right? She gets dove by the monkey, gets super low, and then she dies. You could have saved this, right? If you're playing right here, she never dies. So already, simply you just standing here prevents one teammate from dying. So instead of this being a 5-on-4 fight, which is really hard to win, I would say you only have like a 30% chance of winning this, you could have made this a 5-on-5 fight. And you'd have a monkey who's maybe a little overextended right now at half health, and he'd be forced back, and then, you know, maybe you can win the fight. What have you done during that period of time? Absolutely nothing. All you did was walk on a flank route, throw a damage orb, and now your Sojourn has died. You've done 0 damage, and you've done 0 healing. And you've created 0 space. Like, they don't even know you're there. It's not even like you're distracting them. Right? So you fade back to the fight finally, but again, it's really hard to win the fight right now because you're already down 1. Right? Being down 1 is a huge disadvantage in Overwatch. Like, it's absolutely massive. It's very rare to win a fight. Alright, so good call here. You're healing your Kiriko. So, I think your biggest problem right here is you're simply just not prioritizing healing enough. Okay? So, for starters, recognize that you heal like 3 times as much health as you can damage, right? With orb, and it's like closer to double when we factor in everything else. But somewhere between 2 to 3 times as much healing as you do damage. So when the monkey jumps you, just throw a healing orb towards the Orisa, and the monkey can't out damage that, okay? Like, the monkey only does 60 damage a second. Healing orb heals for like 50-ish. Like, he just functionally can't out heal that. And that will heal you and heal the Orisa. And then you can leech the monkey, you can heal the Orisa, whatever. Alright? But walking away is a big mistake here, because you actually don't want to give up any space. Like, you're not, either everyone dies here, or or you win the fight. Your perspective should not be like, oh, how can I get out? So you see how much damage your Orisa takes that you're not healing? Alright, watch. Gain damage. Now she's super low, down to 1/4 of her health. And you just haven't been there because you backed off the angle. Just forced to pop Fortify. Right? So, right here, you get poked, so you get nervous, right? Again, you realistically could have stayed right here because you have Orb up, and the only thing damaging right now is the Moira. Right? She would have taken a full second to kill you over here, and you could have just thrown the healing Orb in a second, and you would have been totally fine. But you know, that's a mistake already. Like, you could have just stayed. But on going to the Moira, you try to save the Moira, sorry, the Kiriko. You jump to the Kiriko, and then you should have immediately thrown the healing orb, and then start healing. Right now. You should have thrown healing orb and kept healing, because that would have saved her for sure. Too slow on it. Now your team's dead, and now you just need to pull back. There's no reason to be fighting right now. I mean, you can farm a little bit of damage ulti if you want. Right? Most important thing is do not stagger. Right? Don't die right now while the rest of your team is grouping up.
If we're trying to lose, we're doing great.
It's a good idea to be playing with DPS right now. You have some ability to maybe get a pick here, but I would say, yeah, don't do that. So, unfortunate, team's getting picked, staggers are happening. A lot of people ask, oh, what do I do when my team staggers? I think number 1 is don't enable their behavior. Okay? So, when the DPS go out this stair, don't go any further than this corner, you know? Just like throw a damage orb and then just chill. Because when you step out, the soldier's like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this. Because everybody's game sense is terrible. See the soldiers like kind of chilling in the back, but as soon as you step out, the soldiers are like, oh, okay, cool. Now we're like actually like fighting for real. And then now you're out here, and of course they see you out here, so they step out too because they're trying to help you, and then everybody gets picked here. So again, super hard to win this fight because now you're down 2, right? So it's a 3 on 5, so your chance of winning is like 5% maybe. You do a good job burst healing, that way you're not you're being efficient with your resources. Your Orisa's gonna die here, and one thing to keep in mind is when in doubt, like when things are tight and you feel pressured, throw healing orbs, not damage orbs, because healing orbs heal 50% more than damage orbs. And generally speaking, the healing is going to be much more valuable than damage orbs. The only exception is in a one-on-one situation where you need to burst somebody down. But beyond that, for like team fight situations, if you're like, I'm losing track of what's going on, throw a healing orb, not damage orbs. So also, this is kind of tough, but I would have stepped up a little bit to be ready to immediately heal my Orisa when she comes through the bubble. And you're like a little slow to react. I don't know for sure that you could have saved her, but you could have kept her alive at least a little longer. So everyone's staggered right now. Stagger is continued. And this is just kind of what happens, right? Especially at lower ranks, is that everyone just keeps staggering over and over again. And again, the big part is try to not be part of the problem, right? You letting your soldier die initially started a stagger that has not stopped for 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Like for a minute and 45 seconds-ish, the staggering has been nonstop. Your team has not had one 5-on-5 team fight, and if you'd prevented your soldier from going down initially, this might not have happened, right? Maybe you would have killed one of the opposing team, and they would be stuck in an eternal stagger loop. So again, you want to keep line of sight your tank. You see how your tank's super low right now? This is really bad. Using Fade just to move around like that in the backline is generally a really bad idea because the other team will know that you don't have Fade and then kill you as soon as you come out of Fade because you have no defensive abilities after that. So again, healing orb over damage orb. Like you see how low your Orisa is. Like pretty much your main job as Moira is to keep your tank alive. Okay, like you're super good at keeping a tank alive. Your tank should never die, short of like something crazy when you are healing. So you pop coalescence here. This is not the worst coalescence in the world in terms of like the timing. I mean, obviously you're like getting constantly pushed back. You just lost one. You kind of need to like win at some point. But your positioning is bad. So with coalescence, it heals and damages in a beam, right? So instead of going to the left, which is what you do, you should have gone to the right. That way you could have healed the Orisa and damaged 2 enemy heroes at the same time. I cannot stress how important that is, right? You're only hitting 1 hero right now, where if you went this way, you'd be hitting 3. 1 for healing and 2 for damage. Your Orisa is super low. You knew she was super low when you popped it, okay? Again, coalescence also heals for twice as much as it damages. So very important to be healing your tank here, right? Take the right angles where everyone's in a straight line. Are you wait, what? Why are you just standing still here? Yeah, don't do that. Your tank just dies while you're doing this. I don't know, maybe your controller died or something. But either way, obviously that's really bad. Your tank dies, which is going to put you in a really bad position now. Good news is you have close spawns, but besides that. Another example where you should throw healing orb instead of damage orb as your default orb, right? You should also just stay close enough to be able to heal to begin with. Like you were playing way too far back. You should always stay within healing range of whoever is the lead hero, which is usually your tank, but sometimes your DPS. I don't think you need the Fade there. You kind of forced that out too early. So, again, this is a great example where you're just not doing a good job, I would say, keeping the right angle position, right? Follow your Rhine around, like, behind him. Like, here, this is good. This is safe, right? Going to the left, this opens you up. If the Cassidy starts shooting at you, like, you're immediately going to get blown up. Like, Rhine has a shield for a reason. High Noon's up. Nothing you can do right now. He fires. Again, nothing you can do about this. Yeah, I think this is okay. Fade out of that. I would definitely heal your super low soldier. Right? Your soldier has 30 health right here, and you've chosen not to heal him, and instead you're trying to damage the enemy heroes. Transcendence heals for like 200, 250 health a second. There's no way you could out damage that. Right? That soldier was 100% savable. I assume this is console. Because in PC, this feels like this would be bronze. So I don't know why you aggressively faded in to begin with. You have no advantage here right now. Like, how did you even end up behind the Zen? Oh yeah, you faded over here to go kill the Zen. There's two people, and he has a bubble for cover. This is a terrible decision of when to fade. You should have just literally just gone back, right? Fade back, go to spawn, and regroup your team. They're chasing you down. If you die right now, it's a big stagger. It's all is fine, right? I like this positioning where you are much more than previously. Again, you do this thing where you walk like outside of the Rhine shield for no reason. You know, like the Rhine is a shield. Like stay within the boundaries of a shield. But you see how you walk to the left? See, again, right now. Like there's no reason for this. Like you could just stay behind the Rhine shield. Coalescence is popped, so get ready to hide behind a corner if you need to. You have your own Coalescence you can follow up after. This is a bad Coalescence timing. So they're too far away and you can't maintain beam, right? You start zapping here and then they walk around the corner and it's going to take you forever to get to the corner to then swing it to be able to damage them. You should have waited a few more seconds to pop Coalescence. The Coalescence animation. Again, try to hit 2 with it. I think if you popped Coalescence later, you would have killed at a minimum the Zen here. Does damage orb even work on turrets? Right, just pocket your Rhine here, and your Rhine's gonna win this fight. You know, because he's gonna walk to the backline and kill him. You should throw Healing Orb here for sure, especially the monkey has jumped you right now. You should 100% throw Healing Orb. Now you kind of leave your Rhine to die. So one thing to think about is that when you fade, recognize like, do I really have to go all the way back? Right? You could have just faded to here and come back out and gone and healed your Rhine again. Because you also have the Kiriko there to keep you up. Winston alone cannot kill you when you have another support. This is just not possible. It's like not mathematically possible for it to happen. So, once again, you're gotten too far away from your Rhine. Okay? He's up. He's at half health. He's discorded, so he can die very, very quickly right now. Why am I damaging right now? I have half of a healing gauge. I should be stepping up to heal my Rhine. My Rhine is super low, and he's going to die. It's like, stuff like this is really basic, honestly, and it might seem kind of silly, but it's not, you know? Stuff like this is what will determine fights at your level, is do people stay alive or not. And when you're doing silly things like damaging, like it's not like the Rhine is to your side where you didn't notice. You can see how low the Rhine is on your screen. Like he's dead center in your screen, and you're still damaging instead of healing. And as a result, like your Kiriko pops rush there, right, which would have been super useful for your Rhine, but your Rhine's dead. So now you can't really do anything. Cassidy still manages to kill 3 or to kill 2 in a turret. You come to flank over here. I guess this is the best option you have right now. Soldier just killed 2 more. So if you just stop the card here, then you'll be in pretty good position. Should make sure to heal your soldier who's missing 25 health. So you have Coalescence available here. If I saw an opportunity, you could definitely pop it. But so this is another example where when you fade way too far out. Like I understand the fade because you're like initially nervous. You actually do not need to fade here for the record. You could just throw Heal Orb and then you could just fight him because it's mathematically impossible for Winston to kill you if you have Healing Orb and you're leashing him. Like even without your Kiriko, like Winston cannot kill you. Winston actually does very little damage. But you fade, you go super far away from the fight, which means that now you're really far away from being able to help your Rhine. I don't think you're gonna get punished for it this time, but stuff like that is like kind of basic mistakes that you need to cut out of your playstyle. So if I realized Ash was moving the cart, I would have gone here and just helped the Rhine. Only one of you needs to move the cart. You don't need both to move the cart. It doesn't move any faster. In push mode, if there's more people on the cart, unlike payload where 3 will move it faster, up to 3. Another fade where you see crazy far away. So this is really bad because your soldier's gonna die here. Again, you could have healed the soldier at any point in time. Then, assuming you're over here, I would pop Coalescence right away to save my soldier. You don't do that in time. Now you pop Coalescence. It's not a great Coalescence. Again, you're down 1 already. The Winston's gonna juggle you away. You get basically no value out of the Coalescence. Your Ryan's getting wrecked up there, and now he's dead. And then, you're just gonna get kind of low from it. So I'm gonna stop because I think this is gonna be pretty repetitive from here. I would say number 1, just heal your teammates, especially your tank, but heal your teammates. I honestly think you would do better if you just stopped damaging people at all, strangely enough. I'm not saying that you actually do that, but I'm just reflecting like just how problematic your playstyle is, where you're constantly trying to damage when people next to you are very, very low. So yeah, I think in your mind should be, is there anyone that I can heal? Heal them first. That's your number 1 priority. Followed by, can I do some damage? Yeah, go ahead and do some damage right now. That's number 1. Number 2, for damage orbs, for orbs in general, I think that you have one bad habit, which is where you always throw damage orbs, pretty much, including when you're under pressure, where heal orbs are better. And I would say number 2 for orbs is you underestimate how much healing heal orb gives you. And for example, often when you're fighting just one hero, if you throw a heal orb, they cannot outdamage the heal orb. So instead of sacrificing position or abilities, you can just throw heal orb and fight them, and you'll be totally fine. And then lastly, I would say on fade usage, try not to fade so far away from the fight. You are consistently disengaging like a really long way when you fade, and it's not necessary. Okay, I will stop there. I think those tips are more than enough to get you through gold into plat. Hopefully this is helpful.